Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well. I am here with another video, the Google Cloud. So in this particular video, we're gonna talking about the introduction to APIs. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna talking about the introduction to APIs in Google Cloud. Actually, what are the APIs, how they work, how the API architecture, and what are the RESTful APIs. So we'll see that and we'll use that, how we can use it after authorization. So we'll see the difference between authentication and authorization. We'll see everything is step by step. So let's move toward the next. What you have to do, you must be having an account of the Google Cloud. And as usual, we are talking about with these particular things since uh, in our starting video. So just you have to start it once you have an account. So let's take an overview of this particular lab of the Google Cloud that is used machine learning APIs on Google Cloud. APIs stand for actually application programming interface. That we developers use it to you know compute the resources of the data. Like we have, we want to get the data from the backend to the client side. Actually, we call it client server model and client side authentication. Client side authentication, you can say in simple word, like client requests the particular data from the backend, and the server, resource that particular thing, and according to the client request, it responds to the client according to the APIs that we use. We have different HTTP methods like get methods, a post method, put method, and a delete method. Like you can simply understand it by, like, it is a CRUD operation that you can easily understand with that. I hope you guys have done this like while doing the basic projects in your journey. So yeah, it is a software program actually, APIs that developers use to compute the resources of data. And we have, I personally believe that there are two types of APIs. Like one API that we personally created according to our requirement. The second one is that we use, that is public APIs. Like we use different companies APIs like Google Map APIs. Just we uh, get that particular API, then we can implement or integrate in our particular project. Google Map APIs, and we use weather APIs and some other APIs that we use in our daily, projects. And we have seen some other projects like Cloud Natural API for analyzing and sentiment entities. We have used some APIs in that particular labs as well. What and why we use APIs? Actually, we use to make the project more efficient, and we want to make the great, uh, resources that we use to compute the development, production, and we use, like, increase the development for the efficiency, and we use the resources to access the data. Actually, we have different sort of data inside that particular APIs, and then according to our efficiency and to make the project more efficient, that we use APIs for that particular purpose. We can make it, if we have a data set, we can create it from the scratch, and we can use the pre-built APIs like Google APIs and Cloud Nature APIs and Weather APIs that we can easily use according to our requirement for the project. And cloud APIs, like we have seen cloud APIs, cloud Google Map API and Google Cloud Natural API we have seen in our previous labs. And what it says, Google offers API that can be applied to many different fields and sector. APIs often used in web development. For web development, I personally use the weather API, and I have created my own APIs for the web development projects. Machine learning, we have seen Cloud Natural API, and for the multilingual and image analysis and sentiment analysis. We have used that, and we have that data for the data science. We can use that as well, and we have seen like Google Maps APIs and OpenAI API and some other APIs are available out there. We can easily use that particular APIs for our particular need of the project. And if we want to get some cloud natural API, we want to know about what are the cloud natural language API we have seen in our previous labs. But if you want to know more about, then you can just click on this particular part, then you can quickly start with that. And you can understand entity and sentiment analysis as well. You can go to the live API library, then you will see, bundles of library out there available. You can just explore that out. We'll learn Google APIs, API architecture, HTTP protocols, endpoints, RESTful APIs, JSON, and API authentication service. You have to follow these particular, like you can say, quick labs for the Google Cloud. You can just go out there. You can just explore the things, and you can just getting started with the Cloud Console as well. Then we will start the lab. You have to just click on the start lab, and it will provide the project ID, email, and password as usual. And then you can go to go for the further process of the project. Then you have to activate your Cloud Shell at the top of the Google Cloud Console. You'll get there that we have seen, many of the time in our previous labs, and I have also discussed about that. You have to go to the Cloud Shell and just you have to paste gcloud auth list. You have to authenticate your cloud first by just running this particular command. After that, once it is authorized, then you will see this particular message over here. Then you have to just paste Google Cloud config list project. Then it will list out your particular project according to your Cloud Shell name. So these are the command line you have to use it. Then you have to just paste your project ID that this actually this particular lab will provide you once you click on this particular lab. Let's move. Then you have to set up a region. You just paste this particular command line in the Google shell. Then it will set your region as well. Let's understand the how do API works. Actually, before understanding the API architecture, I'm going to give you an example with the front end side and back end side, so you can easily understand the API architecture. Let's suppose you have a front end and you have a back end. What the API architecture works actually, the client side request to the server, then server it has some sort of you can say governance of the protocol. Actually we use the standard communication platform, a standard communication way, which is the internet. Okay, client side send request a message to the server through the internet standard communication. After that it interpret the things. Once the server side see that there is no error, like no internal server error, no internet error, then it interprets the whole code. If it is clear and it computes the protocol of the transfer protocol, then it interprets the data that will be out, that will be in that particular server code. You can just simply say that, then it will interpret. If it is okay, if the code is clear, then it will respond to the client. Client request to the server, then server interpret the code. If it is okay, then server respond to the client. Let's suppose if client requested the client side requests to the server side that I want to show the 1,000 student list on in my front end. Then what it's gonna do, it will call the HTTP method of the get. Then it will, if you are using the MySQL, then it will query, select the query, then it will process all the interpretation of that particular code, then it will print all the data of the 1,000 students on the front end. So it is actually API architecture does work to the client and server side. HTTP protocol, we have get key methods, we have post, put, and delete, simply like the CRUD operation that you use in your simple project. It must be having an endpoint, like if you have a get API or post API, it must be having a endpoint, like so that the easiness of the understanding of the client side or the part that will see on that particular URL on your browser. So when all these things completes the process, or all of these things fulfill the protocol of the transfer protocol, actually transfer interpretation protocol, that is actually the internet is a standard communication where we have to learn. Program must adhere to a clear protocol that governs once API architecture, HTTP protocol, and endpoint. If these protocols fulfill these particular line, if that governs the transfer and interpretation, then it will become the REST and RESTful APIs in simple words. Then it has some sort of MCQs. It asks the computing device, a smartphone that makes a request for some computing resources. So its answer is the client, because when we are going to compute the device, so it make request from client side. Okay. Then HTTPS method commonly used for creating resources. So it is where we use the post method to create the new resources using the library. Using the library, you have to go to the navigation. I have some here. You have to just starting gcloud or this, you have to put it out some sort of command line. You have to go to the cloud shell, then you have to paste it this sort of command line. Then you have to go to the API and services. You have to go to the API library. Then you have to browse fitness API. Then you have to just simply click on this button. You have to just click on this particular button, and then you will enable. It will open a new window. Then you have to just enable your API. After that, once you enable your API, it will show this particular pop-up, and it has a kind of quotas and system limit, so you can simply get this particular thing. So in these particular quotas and system limit, you can check out that how many messages and how many messages that you can send this particular quota, that and how many quotas limit you have. It will show over here in this particular page. Then move next. You have generated your fitness API key. You have enabled that. You have seen the quotas and system limit. Then it will ask some question of a quick access documentation and configuration option for 200 plus Google API. So API library is the correct one. You have to just click on this API library. Details your project uses specific APIs, include traffic level, error rates, and even license. You have to just simply API and services, then you can check the details of the APIs and service accounts. Let's creating a JSON. You just simply read this out for the better understanding. Then you have to just click on nano value.json on your cloud. Once you paste this particular command line, one thing that which we have discussed in our previous lab, that once we use nano command, then it will open a pop-up which is a nano code editor where we can easily put our JSON syntax. Then we can just simply this particular JSON file. If you want to save this particular JSON file, you have to click Control X, then Y, then Enter, then it will be saved. Then you have to move uh, to the part of the authenticate and authorization. Authentication and authorization are two different things. Authentication refers the process of determining a client identification in which we identify the clients. Okay. Authorization refers the process in which what permission we are going to set for the authenticated clients. What permission we are going to set of resources for the authenticated client. And it has three things, which is API keys, service account, and authentication. API keys is like, you can just simply think API keys is a kind of key or a kind of secret key that we use to our project, particularly for our project. It has a lot of things behind of this particular API key. You can say encrypted a string we get. It has a lot of things behind of it. Then we just simply copy that. If you have used OpenAI or Gemini or Google Maps API, just simply you can just simply copy that and you use for your project. And it is publicly public data. Then we use some methods. Thus we ask question once apply to the particular API, then we can get the response according to the API, according to the API that we are using. Then OAuth is something like API keys like secret tokens, and it is much secure than API keys because it directly links with the client's identification, identities, client user accounts. That is why OAuth is more secure than API keys. Service account is a type of Google account that we use for our application just to uh, create the private keys for our application because some application requires service accounts for the identification. If I give you an example, I was using the Tulio for the WhatsApp chatbot. So when creating WhatsApp chatbot, it requires a service account because it creates an API key, and for the Google Cloud authentication identification, it requires service account where will be the data of that particular project that we created. So service account, it's important for that. Once you're done with that, then you have to click on this particular playground. You have to open it in new window. Then what you have to do, you have to, once you open this particular window, in new window, you have to scroll down and move to the cloud storage API v1. Then you have to click on dev storage full control. Once you click that, then you have to click on authorize APIs. Once you click on this particular button, then it will generate a access token for you. Okay, that access token we're gonna use in a further process of the labs. Once you created that particular uh, authorize API, then you have to just copy that particular API. You have to allow it will allow your account. Then it you can just copy paste and follow these particular steps. Then you have to create a bucket. For the create a bucket, you have to just value dot. You have to just click on ls. What lscli doing? You have all the things that you have done in past command line. So you have to remove all of the things. Ls will clear all of the things and then move to the value.json. After that, you have to just run this particular command, copy from here, and you have to just paste to the cloud shell, and you have to just remove these your token. Then you have to paste that you have recently generated. After that, you have to create these as an environment variable or to token because we are doing the authentication in this particular. We are creating a bucket with this particular command line. Then from the cloud storage, then we'll give an image. Then we'll generate a JSON. Let's see how it's gonna work. Then you have to copy these command. Then just cut command you have to paste it out. Once you put it out this particular command on the cloud shell, then it will generate a complete JSON for you. If you face any sort of error there, any sort of error out there, then you can just simply start working from again from here. Value.json, you have to click on ls, then value.json if you face any error while doing this particular lab. Once you get this particular JSON with the property and value, then it's good to go. I'm not gonna describe this particular thing what is happening. It has a kind of property and its value in a JSON format. Then you have to move to the navigation menu. Cloud storage will be there. You have to go to the bucket, and that's it. You will see there will be a bucket name will be created after performing the above task. Then you have to click on this particular image or XYZ image. You can pick it out. Then you have to save with any name. Then you have to just you have to go to the cloud shell and just simply if I can show you the cloud shell. If you come, then you have to click on three dots. Then it will open a upload option out there. Then you can just uh, upload your uh, upload your image that you currently saved. Then you have to you have to just paste this command for the real path of the image that you recently saved. Then you have to just export object. Then you have to paste it out your path over here. Then you can just see your project of the bucket will be created with the name, and you have to just paste this command. Then you will see this particular uh, JSON format you will receive once you uh, apply that command. Then you have to go to the cloud storage and bucket. You will see the demo image. I also get that out when I created the here. When I created it, I put it the name demo image. Yeah, you can just see that I also got the demo image perfectly and running my file, you know, with without any error. Then you have to click on the object detail. You can get all the details over here, and you can just click on the check my progress. You will see all the performance and all the JSON files out there. How we did, we use some sort of APIs. We have enable APIs like fitness APIs, and after fitness APIs, we have created a buckets using the command lines. We have used in the starting we use code gcloud auth and then we use some sort of nano. We have pasted out a JSON. Then we use command like curl command. There will be a variable that we recently created authorized API. For that API, we just created these particular things. So this is enough from a side. And once you complete these particular tasks, so you can just explore that what you have done so far. We have developed a solid APIs. We have seen how APIs work, what methods, RESTful APIs, and all of the things. And we have seen cloud storage, JSON, REST API. You learn about cloud APIs, API architecture, HTTP protocol, endpoints, RESTful APIs, JSON API authentication. You are now ready to take more API labs in quick labs. So once complete these particular labs, you can move to the next of the lab. So I'm gonna cover these labs as well. So yeah, that's it. I also completed entity and sentiment analysis in my second or third video. You can just go out there and just check it out that how it works if you haven't watched my previous videos. So thank you so much uh, for your precious time. Take care, sir. Thank you.